Well, hello, everyone. How are you? Welcome to another conversation with someone that I am super excited for you guys to meet. Welcome. It's been a minute since I have been with you, but today I am being joined by Karla Sandoval. And Karla is a business coach for established female entrepreneurs. Carla, welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yay. Um, a couple of things. I have an audience that's mostly the same type of people. They are, people in business, entrepreneurs, and of all sorts, right? Because our audience is full of beginners and whatever, and other people that are here and people that are in the middle. But I clearly heard you say, Linda, I've made a decision to work with established female entrepreneurs. And I know why that is. I want you to explain why you've made that decision, but I want to say out the gate, people sometimes go in my messenger, they DM me and they come with this victim energy and they'll say something like, well, I've been watching you for a long time, but you don't work with newbies. Like, oh, okay, I feel bad now. I know why I don't work with newbies, but why did you decide that that's the demographic that you want to work with?
Okay, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. I know we've been trying to get this going, and I'm so excited to see another female powerhouse and, empresarial businesswoman. And so the reason is because I really, when I first started coaching, I wanted to help everyone. And I really did. I was like, okay, well, what I have, I can help everyone. And what I found is that if I really want to serve and if I really want to make a difference, I really need to be true to who I can help. And what I found was when somebody is just starting a business, it takes a specific type of skill to help somebody start from the ground up. Can I do it? Yes, because I've built multiple businesses. But one of the things that I have found is that, like what you call a newbie, they need practice. They need reps. They need experience. They need to figure out like what works, what doesn't work. They have they have to put skin in the game. Like that's what I found. And I found that when somebody is new, not that they wouldn't take the coaching, but they can't take a coaching on something they haven't experienced yet. They have to go through the experience for me to then come in and go, okay, look, this is what needs to change. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is that when you have a seasoned entrepreneur, they have experience. They know what they've done, what they haven't done. And now they're like, okay, I know that I can do this, but I'm stuck. So one of the things that I discovered is like, that is really where I thrive. I connect with these women who have built a business. They know they're capable because they've done it, but now they feel stuck. They're paralyzed. Sometimes they feel alone and they're like, how do I go? So that's why my company is called Wake Up and Unleash. So the people that have established business, I feel that they also value what I give them, how I coach them, because they've been in the trenches. And so that's why I decided that I need to coach the women that I can make the biggest difference with the skills and the passion that I have.
I love that. I love that because if you're listening, you're watching, I know that you are in business for yourself. Listen to how detailed she was about her ideal client. And here's the deal. You can have the same type of descriptor of your ideal client and still have a very different ideal client because who you attract is based on who you are. Like Karla and I could have the same copy on our websites probably, and people that like Karla and are attracted to Karla, they're going to go with Karla, and the people that are with Linda are like with Linda. So I'm never scared as a woman in business to put the spotlight on another woman in business because it doesn't take away from me. There are over 8 billion people in this world. There's too many human souls that need to be woken up. Wake up and unleash. So we don't have to like be like, well, I have her same ideal client. I have her same ideal client. Oh, I don't want to be friends with her because she might take my clients. Nobody's taking your clients, boo. Nobody. Okay. So shut up and go out there and get your clients. So anyway, Karla, thank you.
Yeah, some people like blonde hair, some people like dark hair, some people like rap, some people like classic. It's music, but the tone, the tempo of the music is what not every so I love Rocky 4. Not everybody likes Rocky 4 because why? Because I'm like, I have the tiger. I'm like, let's go get him. And some people are like, that's a little too aggressive. So I'm super clear the same way with you. Like, hay para todos.
Hay para todos. And what I love, I know that you, I came in hot asking you a question right out the gate, and you were like, hold up. I want to say, what's up? I'm glad to be here. I'm so glad that you're Latina. Me too. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to connect with you. For everyone that's watching, I met Karla in another program. We both worked with a coach who is a badass fire here to wake up the masses as well. And there's a reason why we were attracted to that type of messaging and that type of coaching. And so we met there. I found out that she was Latina, and I was like, what? I want to connect with her because, Karla, honestly, honest to God, how many Latina powerhouse coaches do you know of?
Not many. Hardly
Right.
any.
I don't know of anyone. Like, it was, I knew of me, and obviously I was small potatoes, but I kept looking for Hispanic high performance coach, Hispanic mindset.
I even Googled and I didn't find any.
Yeah. So I love,
can't find.
right. So I was gonna, this, what I'm about to say leads into the very next thing I want to ask you. For me, what got me into coaching was years ago. I was in school as an adult for my psychology degree. I thought I was going to be a therapist, but then I was like, I will not speak to someone for years waiting for them to have a freaking breakthrough. I want to slap you upside your head with your breakthrough. I want to hit you with it. Like, I don't have time to wait for you to get it in 2 years. And how does that feel? I'm gonna be like, aren't you tired of that shit? Fuck that. I want to say, do you know that you're the problem? Do you realize that you are a problematic person? What? But you can't say that as a therapist.
You would get fired. You would get fired.
I would lose my license, boo. I mean, like, you're unethical, Linda. Okay, whatever. So I knew pretty quickly that I didn't want to do therapy. And then because of my circumstances of how I landed as a divorced woman, with my ex-husband changing the locks to our doors and me sleeping in my car and me experiencing true homelessness and not having my own money, my biggest passion, like when you remove the boldness, the courage, the Latina, the red lipstick, when you take me down to my bare minimum, the reason my business exists is because I believe that every woman needs two things. She needs a coach because she cannot figure out how to unleash all of that she's always been dreaming of. And number two, she needs her own money that is not attached to a man. Because I experienced poverty, not because I grew up poor. Both of my parents were entrepreneurs. I experienced poverty in my life when I put the trust of my existence in a man's hands, because that's what my culture taught me.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get married, ese hombre te va a cuidar, blah, 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 blah. And that wasn't it for me. I'm not against marriage. I love men. I love marriage. But I believe every woman needs to have her own money that is not attached to a man.
Absolutely.
Why did you decide I want to be a coach?
That's a heavy loaded question, but I don't have a crazy story like you. I had no idea that happened to you.
Why is my story crazy?
Because I see you now, and I te veo ahorita, and I'm like, how did this happen to such a powerful woman, right? But I get it because I'm Latina, and I get how we can put ourselves in those situations. I mean, I'll answer your question in a second, but like I found myself a couple of years ago, we have rental property, and if something were to happen to my husband tomorrow, I would not know half of anything. And I was like, whoa, what would I tell my daughter? And I would tell my daughter, tú tienes que tener algo propio. You never know. He walks out. What's going to happen? And my husband doesn't like me talking this way, but I'm like, listen, this is the reality. You could one day pick up and go.
Or I could.
Yeah. Or I could. Well, that's a whole different story. But anyway, so that's why I'm like, it's crazy that this can happen, especially like seeing you now, right? Okay. So why did I start coaching? Well, I feel like I've always been a coach. I've always been an unpaid coach. I love contributing to other people's lives. Dice mi esposo que sometimes soy bien entrometida because I see things and I'm like, oh, hold up, let me help you, right? And so I've always had that in me. But to be really honest with myself, I didn't allow myself to put myself in that category because I felt like, well, that is like really heavy to call yourself a coach. Like I just like coaching people, but to call myself a coach, I think it was my limited mindset, like the responsibility, what would that look like? And then like, would people really pay for this? That's the truth. Okay. Like I was like, would people really pay for it? I'm already giving it to them for free. So it's always been in me, but here's what happened last year, September 15th. Well, before that, I've had many businesses, and there was a point in my business that I was washing a blender. I owned a smoothie shop, and I was washing a blender, and well, whatever. I was like, I am too good for this. And it hit me like I should not be washing blenders. And so things changed. I got employees to come and help me and things like that. But that was the spark. And then fast forward, I am taking I've always had coaches, always, even if it was $100 a month, whatever. I mean, I've never paid that little, but I've always had coaches. So I hired a coach. Her name is Jessie Lee. And it makes me emotional because when I hired her, I was like, I don't know what it was about her. I saw her on something and I was like, I'm going to follow this woman. And so when she offered a coaching program, I jumped in and I paid for the whole year because that's how I am. I'm like, lock me in for the year so I don't get out. And fast forward, she passed away September 15th.
Last year.
Yeah, September 15th, I was in Las Vegas. We were there to see Luis Miguel concert. I took my parents, I bought my parents tickets for my dad's birthday to go see Luis Miguel. And like we had a whole weekend over there. And I really thought she had cancer in the stomach. I really thought she was going to beat it, Linda. I really did. Positive woman, had lots of resources.
I know. I was in her program.
Yeah, okay. So she was super rich, right? So she flew everywhere to get like, treatment. I really, if someone said bet, I'd be like, I bet she's going to beat it. And September 15th, we got the notification that she had passed away. I don't know why. It gives me chills. That day, I was sitting outside in the pool and I just started crying. And my mom's like, ¿Qué te pasó? And I told her, and my husband's like, you don't even know her. I'm like, you don't understand. I loved that woman. Like, she's just an amazing human being. In that moment, something shifted inside of me. And I just decided that I needed to follow my passion. I decided that I needed to change my life. I had very serious conversations with my husband. I had very serious conversations with myself. And I just took a leap of faith. And that was in September. And then in November, I go down to a coaching program that just sealed the deal. Like, this is what I want to do. I wasn't sure how it was going to look. I was so scared because of el que dirán, ya quien se cree, like all that stuff that probably people don't even say. I don't know if they say it or not, but in my head, I was so concerned about everybody else except for me. And, but that September 15th, I decided, yeah, like she died and I'm here and I need to make a difference in my life. And I need to follow my passion and I need to go for it. And so that's what changed for me, just making that leap.
Karla, just for the people that are watching who are not bilingual, el que dirán is what will people say, right? Yeah. So Karla shared a lot of hot fire. So Karla doesn't know this, but I warned her before we started that I coach while we have interviews because I love to break down the psychology of what's being said because you need to understand why high performers are high performers. So Karla had already joined another program. She had not tapped into the type of investment as big as the one that she did in November, but she is the type of person who goes all in. And so there's a personality trait that people have that are winners that separates them from the average and the winners. We do things differently. When I was broke, I was still an all-in person. When I say what I say, I said what I said. You could take it to the bank. It's a big value of mine. When Linda said, you can, hey, unless I die, I'm gonna be there. That's what I said I'm gonna do, right? And that comes from some trauma in my past when my parents used to promise me things that they never came through, and my ex-husband, right? So like there are reasons why people are the way you are. There are reasons why you are the way you are. And if I bet that you're watching this interview, you are a high performer and you're not giving yourself enough credit for the traits that you have. So she said, I went all in. I was like, let me make this payment. Let me lock in my payment, lock me in for the year. Then she made another decision in November. She was like, oh my God, what will people say? You know, I've been coaching for free, but I know I love this. I like helping people. Like, what are people going to say? Why does she think she's a coach? Blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. And she went all in. Now, here we are. A couple of months pass by. I reach out to her. We get to know each other a little bit on Instagram, whatever. And she's on her way. Now, she already told you she built businesses before. Her husband is an entrepreneur. Her parents are super rock stars in a multi-level marketing company. She's helped to build teams with that. Like, she's not the okey doke. She also helps another person who has an executive coaching business to facilitate those contracts with big corporations. Like, Karla's been coaching.
Hi, you make me sound so amazing. I'm like, really? I've done all that. You're right. We don't give ourselves credit, Linda.
That's correct. So you all saw what she just did. She is a high-performing woman. And when I mirrored back to her who the fuck she is in the world, even she is like, damn, that sounds like a battle. That's me.
I want to be her.
Yes. Right. So I love this because this is real time. You guys know I don't practice, my interviews. So Karla, being the badass that she is, Karla was invited to speak at a Chamber of Commerce, Latin Chamber of Commerce thing out in Cali. Cali?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. And so she's on her way there. And I said, I have time. And she had time. So we're talking. And she's like, and I'm like, wait a minute, you're going to be on a stage in front of people you got to offer? I'm like, oh, hell no. Here's what you're going to do. You need that QR code. You need that QR code on your presentation. You need to have people book a call. You need to boom, 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 boom. And I give her the damn strategy. Now, Karla had confided in me that she hadn't closed sales in a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she just told you who she is. And she just told you who she likes to help in the world. And so all the time, this is not just randomly, all the time, we are always equipped the best to help somebody who was in our shoes, a version of ourselves. So Karla decided to help somebody who was the version of who was on the phone with me a few months ago. Okay.
Yeah.
So Karla's on the phone with me and I'm like, oh, hell no, girl. Karla, truly, 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 to this day, Karla just learned something about me that she didn't know. And I thought everybody knows that. That's my story. So Karla really didn't know me.
Mm-mm.
And I was just like, Karla, I am a beast at sales. You don't understand what I do in the world, girl. Like, let me tell you how to do this. So then Karla sends me a text message when that weekend is over. And she's like, hey, I got some calls booked. Now, here's what I want to share, Karla. Before we turned the camera on, I asked you, how much did you make from that? And I want to pause right here because Karla doesn't even know that she's doing this. But I know exactly why she did this. She said, I landed 2 people and it's $2,000 per month. And I said, okay, so it was a $2,000 offer. How much was the offer? And you were like, no, it's $2,000 for 6 months. I'm like, okay, so then that's 6. So 2 times 6 is 12. Oh, for 3 months, it's $2,000 a month for 3 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I said, so you landed $12,000 in sales within 48 hours of delivering your talk. Yeah. But I know why you said it's only $2,000 a month.
Why?
Because I don't know if your people sign a client agreement. Do they sign a contract with you or not? I don't know if you do that. We don't have to talk about that because that's not why this conversation is. But when you're first starting to make money in this business, you're like, are they going to pay me again next month? Are they going to pay me again next month? So I just want to say it's $2,000 a month. No, it's 2 sales and you closed $12,000 in sales in 48 hours. That's going to give you $12,000 in revenue in 90 days. That is what you did. You closed $12,000 in sales. So you had a $12,000 2 days. Like you closed that call on a Monday and one on a Tuesday. Between 2 days, you made $12,000. what I love about coaching, if you're watching, this is what we do. We compress time. Even when you don't know, I hate the phrase, you don't know what you don't know, because what I believe is that you don't know what you do know. You know a whole bunch of stuff that you don't give yourself credit for. You don't understand the dynamics of it, and it's costing you money not to understand revenue in the business model that you're working in. And I love this because this is my jam. This is where, this is, y'all, this is what I do, right? And Karla has a different jam. So Karla, you're like, damn, Linda. You were like, let me see what Linda's going to say. But damn, for real. That built momentum for you. And from then to now, you have done how much in sales?
Okay, so now you got me thinking, because you're right. I don't think that way.
Out the calculator, boo.
Okay.
From then to now, how much sales have you done?
Okay, let me get the calculator out. By the way, this is definitely, I did not think we were going to go to this. Okay, here we go.
Right. This is
that. Yeah, no, it's fine. Okay, so that's that, and then I just signed another one, and another one. Is that, and so 20,500.
I need you to shut up. That's amazing.
I never thought about it like that. I'm like, okay.
Okay, ma'am. So
you just blew my mind. You just shattered my frame. Like, I'm like, oh,
I
shit.
know.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'll be sending you an invoice and a contract for our work together. Ma'am, please stop. Okay. So a couple of things I want you to hear from this conversation. When you believe that I can't do any coaching calls if we're not on Zoom, Karla was driving and so was I. Because she's a type of woman. She was going to speak on a stage that was a 3-day conference for the Latin Chamber of Commerce. This was not no little baby. And I saw her stories. She lit that stage up.
We had a sold out room.
Karla is a speaker.
I really am, Linda. I am so good on stage.
You are.
I really am.
Like, I have goosebumps right now. I'm like, damn, how is she going to go on that stage and not leverage the audience? The people there are business owners. Like, what? They need to get on a call with you, and you need to close some sales. This is what Karla shared with me. Karla, thank you so much for being on this call. I wanted to do this interview because it's gonna help so many people with their mindset. Karla said, yeah, and she said it like this, like it was no big deal. Yeah, like, this guy worked with me and he went from making and he did $80,000 in his real estate business, like in commissions. And how long did he do $80,000 in commissions, Karla? From the time.
So in the program that I had, it was 6 weeks, and I asked him, what do you want to create? And he said, I want to hit $25,000 every single week. And I said, have you ever done that before? And he said, yes, long time ago. And I said, okay, let's do it. And so he ended up doing 20,000. He didn't hit 25, but he hit 20,000 per week the first 4 weeks working with me.
So in a month, first of all, the average realtor doesn't even make $30,000 a year. The average realtor makes $27,000 in a year. The average realtor is struggling. The average realtor doesn't get to $500,000, let alone 250,000, where the top producers are. I know because a lot of my clients are realtors. So you helped a realtor make $80,000 in 1 month. And then I asked you what you charged for that. And I wanted to jump through the phone and like get out the belt and spank you with it. I was like, what? This man knows how to make $80,000 in a month. He compressed time. And so he will forever know how to make $80,000 fast. And so that I'm not teaching anybody how to make $80,000 for less than 25.
Ay, la madre.
Right. And I was like this, Karla, if you don't want me to jump through this phone, girl. Right. Because Karla, here's what happens when you're a new coach. You are great at what you do, but you haven't gotten the reps in the coaching space. And you think because, I can't charge. And I believe that 50%, I believe you need the reps. You need results. You need results so that you can feel complete certainty. My price is this way because I know if you work with me, you girl, you're going to be like, why did I wait so long? That's what you're going to be, right? So I don't twist people's arms. If you're scared to work with me, be scared. Don't make no money, right? Because you're not for me. Whenever you're ready, you'll be here and you will kick yourself in the butt for having waited. So I get where Karla's like, I haven't been in this space long enough. But when Karla worked with that man and helped him make $80,000 in commission in his bank account, that should have been all the confirmation and evidence that Karla needed to raise her prices. She didn't have to raise them to 25K, but she damn sure should raise that thing to 10K at least. Karla's like, damn. So Karla has closed $20,500 from that momentum to now, and she hasn't even raised her prices.
No, I haven't.
Okay. I am so thankful for this conversation because we didn't know how it would go.
No, we didn't.
But it went this way. And so this is why you, Karla, and I, and anybody who's watching can feel very comfortable. If it sounds cocky and somebody thinks, who the hell does she think she is talking like that? They're not your person. But I can tell you that one conversation with me will change your entire life. It will change your bank account. Now, will you be able to repeat it? I don't know, till you run out of gas, because there's momentum that comes from that. Look at what's happening now, $20,500 later. That hasn't even been a full 90 days. It's been about 2 months. Right? Look at you didn't even like you were like, you just shattered my frame all over. Pick up the glass, girl. Just sweep that thing out the door.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what's going through your mind right now. Karla is getting coached in real time.
I'm like, fuck, okay. First of all, the first thing that's going through my mind is how, it's crazy because like you, I see greatness in people. I get very impatient when I'm like, how do you not see yourself the way I see you? And I just got a little taste of that right now because I was like, oh, damn, that girl said, oh, whoa, what? Who does that? Oh, who does that? I want to meet her. I'm like, oh, shit, wait, it's me.
It's me.
So that's the first thing. I'm like, man, like they say that you get triggered when there's something in somebody that isn't you. So yeah, no wonder I get so triggered when people are like, oh, but I don't know. I'm like, do you not know who you are? So that's the first thing. Then the other thing is I didn't realize, like I never looked at it from that perspective. Like, oh, well, $2,000 a month for 3 months minimum is 6,000 in sales. Like I didn't look at it that way. And I also didn't realize that perhaps one of the reasons why I didn't account for it is because, I mean, for me, I was like, well, it's not in the bank yet, so I can't count it. But I also know what you're saying. It's like, maybe there's that little bit of a doubt, like, well, it's not going to go in, so maybe I shouldn't count it, right? So I didn't realize that could be a blind spot of mine that I need to now figure out, okay, well, how do we make sure that doesn't happen, right? So that's another thing. And then the last thing, it's like, damn, like I had no idea that I was looking at it that way. Like, yeah, you're right. It was a momentum moment. Here, I want to contribute this to somebody who's listening. And that is that you're right. Like she reached out to me. So I don't know who reached out to who, but the point is we started contacting each other back and forth on DM and Instagram. And the reason why Linda, you caught my attention was because when you were on the big screen, it was a hybrid event. And I was like, whoa, she feisty. She got some fire. And there isn't a lot of that in the program where we met. And so I was like, woo, but I didn't know what you were. I didn't know where you were from, nothing. And so when you told me that, yo, you're Latina, and I started following your stories and I'm like, ooh, she's got a lot of fire and energy, my kind of jam. And so then when you told me once, I want to get to know you, let me call you. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, what you want to talk about? And, we just caught up. And then when I told you, one of the things I want to acknowledge you for, because I think this is so beautiful, that's probably why you're so successful, is because it comes so natural to you to contribute. And in our conversation between my house to Bakersfield was like, I don't know, 2 hours. The calls dropped so many times because it was a crazy road. She literally coached me, and she's like, wait, where are you going? And she's right. I did have a presentation. My, my, my idea was to pass out because somebody said, what are you going to pass out? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. What am I going to pass out? So I made some postcards and I was going to pass out the postcards. And I think had I not spoken to you, I would have left it to chance. Like, I hope somebody reaches out. And talking to you, you're like, okay, girl, what's your offer? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I'm going to tell them they can reach out. And no. This is what you're going to do. And she spit out fire. And luckily, I have a Tesla. So I was like on my notes. I'm like, okay, got it. I was being careful. My car can drive by itself, but still goes beep, beep, beep. So, I was in control and it was like one-way street. But I wrote it and it was like, no, you need to get a QR code. And what I loved about what you did was you gave me a very actionable thing to do. It was in the theory. By the way, I still use it to this day. And it's like, you're going to ask them 15-minute call with me to go over your most troubling and pressing issue in your business. I was like, oh, I like that. Can you say that again? What is it? What'd you say? And so I did that, at the end of the presentation. Yes, I still gave out the postcards because I had already had them printed. The postcard was the QR code for my website. Had I not spoken to you and listened, I would have, the people that went through my website because of that presentation were like not even 8 people. But because of the QR code, and I told them what you said, like, take a picture now and book it now before you forget. And, I booked, I can't remember how many because it was a while back, but I booked calls and I did exactly what you said. We did 15 minutes. And then I said, okay, well, look, you can have an idea of what this is like to work with me. So if you would like, let's set up an actual 60-minute sales call where we can go over how we can work together. And so I did exactly that. And so, yeah, because of something that seems so simple, but it's like, I never thought about that. I was like, oh, QR code, 15 minutes for the difficult and pressing issue you have in your business right now. And people got their phones out and yeah. And so it was such a great, I'm so grateful that I talked to you that day, because otherwise it would have been like crossing fingers, hoping something would have happened. And most likely nothing would have happened because, like I said, because of the postcards that I handed out had a QR code to my website, but the website didn't really have an offer. There was no way they could capture the email, but like what? Like nothing was going to happen. So yeah, that's what happened.
So for those of you that are watching, you know me, I have a favorite phrase, and that is that every time I open my mouth, 6 figures falls out of it. And what that means is that the advice, the consulting, the teaching that I can give you is going to be worth that much money to you or more. I am a 7-figure decision. So I don't have to teach Karla how to make $100,000 because I put fire under her butt and she went and closed some sales and she got the momentum. And here we are today at 20,500. So she already knows how to make 20,500. What I have to teach Karla is how to make 20,500 faster. We don't have a money problem. We need to make money faster. Actually, today's podcast is about compressing timelines. It's pretty awesome if I say so myself. I'm like, y'all gotta listen to this podcast episode today. So, what would you say to someone, because we're both in this space, right? So, because this is also for people who are watching who may be interested in working with you. What would you say to someone who's sitting on the fence about hiring a coach? Because before you answer, I used to think that my ideal client would be someone who's already used to investing. And that was also a limiting belief because I have landed clients who have never, ever, ever had a coach before. And their first coach was me, and it was $30,000 for 90 days. So the first person who did that automatically shattered my frame, blew my belief system, because I was like, well, only people who know how to invest in themselves know how to do this. And now it's a norm for me. People are like, Linda, I've been watching you for months. Like, I got to do, I don't know what it is. I'm still not sure what it is that you do, but I think I want it. And I'm always cracking up, right? It's like, you're not sure what I do? What are you talking about? And so, what would you say to someone who's sitting on the fence about, I need a coach, and they haven't made the decision?
So, a couple of things. First of all, I think that, this is my core belief, and that is that you are your greatest asset. That's my core belief. Like, you are your greatest asset. You can never go wrong with investing in yourself, because at the end of the day, I feel that is okay. So I'll speak like this. I'm Latina, I'm Mexican. I've seen my mom. She serves everybody and serves herself last. Everybody sits down to eat and she eats once everybody's done.
Literally.
So I grew up. So when someone doesn't understand, or they don't have that core belief, I understand, because I was raised in an environment where it was more like, oh, here, for you, for you, for you. And I'm always like, no, mom, you. Because at the end of the day, one of the things I've realized, but with Hard Knocks, is that if I don't take care of me and if I don't invest in me, I am no good to everybody else around me. And the more that I have invested in myself, and let me tell you something, it's okay, because there's nothing to hide. My husband is not okay with me investing in myself. Like, I purchased all of Tony Robbins, because now that you're saying that, I'm like, oh wow, I am like that. Like, when I went to Tony Robbins, I bought the whole package. Like, I'm gonna get everything because I'm gonna do it all.
Man, the Edge program was the first thing that I ever experienced in the personal development space. It was Tony Robbins, the Edge program. That thing changed my life.
Yeah, the whole package back in the days with this. Yeah, I have it all. I have them in cassettes. I have them in CDs.
You have the binder.
I have the binder. I have it all. And so when I invested a lot of money in the coaching with Tony Robbins, my husband was like, you did what? Right? And he was not happy. When I did the big investment in November, he wasn't happy. And sometimes when we get into arguments, he'll be like, don't tell me anything, because you've invested at least 6 figures in coaching. And let me tell you something, Linda, I don't feel guilty about it at all, because I know that, first of all, I am worth that and more, because what I've learned has improved the quality of my life, has improved how I am as a mother, how I am as a wife, how I am as a business person. And I mean, God forbid, but because I hope that my husband and I never get divorced and that nothing ever happens. But let me tell you something. When we've had trouble in our marriage, I've had people say, what will happen if he leaves? Without hesitation, I'm like, I'm going to be okay. Not because I want that, but because of all the personal development and all the coaching that I've gotten, I feel like I am so emotionally strong. Not all the time. I have breakdowns like everybody else does. But let me tell you something. One of the things I know, and this is the second belief that I have, people say you cannot buy time. I call bullshit. Because when you buy a coach, you're buying time. Like, my conversation with you has, like you said, it compressed time. Me working with somebody compresses time. People that hire a coach, like, look, how many years have you been in business coaching?
Me, since 2019.
Okay, so what is that? We're in 2024, 5 years. I bought 5 years in 1 hour conversation with you, because 5 years of experience was poured into that 1 hour that we had as a call. And I don't think people really realize, when you're buying a coach, you're really buying certainty, you're buying experience, you're buying time, you're not going to make mistakes that you would have made otherwise. Every time I've tried to do things on my own, because I'm going to be honest, my husband be like, that's not necessary. And so I don't follow my instinct, and I don't buy the coach, or don't buy this, or don't buy that. Guess what? It takes me longer. I waste a lot of time. I end up not making as much money than when I hired a coach, because I know what I'm hiring is experience, is time, certainty, confidence, somebody that can counsel me. So listen, I have no shame to say this. There's been times that, because I put myself in a financial situation where I'm investing in me, I will dye my own hair. I've done my own nails. Like, I have no problem with that. I can do that. what I cannot give me is that. Look at what you just showed. You just shattered my frame right now. That blind spot, because of this conversation, I will never see it the same again. That's priceless. So if you're on this call and you're like, I don't know if I really want to, let me tell you something. When somebody really wants it, I'm going to share something that I did. I don't even know if you know this, but when somebody really wants it, you'll find a way. In November, when I wanted to do the investment, I could have paid monthly, or I could have paid it for the whole year. And you already know how I'm going to do it. So I paid for the whole year. I did.
Yep.
I had no idea that I was like that until you said that right now. And I knew that my husband was not going to be okay with it. So I decided, I'm not telling you ladies you should do this, okay? But I decided that I wasn't going to tell him. And I applied for a credit card. I have excellent credit. And so I applied for a credit card. And I literally told God, I said, if this is meant to be, let it open the doors for me. And when I applied, it came back a couple $1,000. I think it was like $1,000 more than what I needed. And I was like, okay, I got it.
And like, go get you a burger and a little shake, go celebrate.
And so why I share that with you is because, did it upset my husband? Absolutely. But here's what I know. I know that I would have not forgiven myself if I did not take a chance on me. I would have been resentful with him. I would have been like, oh my God. I mean, I would have blamed him. Now, if I'm going to succeed, but let's say I fail, I have no one to blame because I took a chance on me. And I always believe if I learn one thing, it is worth it. If I can improve a little bit, it is worth it. My son, my husband, my future, they deserve it. So I just got to say, number one, you are your biggest asset. And every time you hire a coach, you're literally buying time.
Karla, two things. What Karla said is, you are paying me, you are paying her, you are paying any coach for their past. Your past is packageable. People will pay you for your experience. This is exactly why when you work with a coach, you compress time. Number two, Karla said something that is that I love. Again, she doesn't even realize she's so decisive. Okay. She said, hey, I'm not telling you to do this, but I didn't go ask my husband for permission. I wouldn't apply for this card. Yeah, he wasn't happy, but I was not going to be happy if I let this opportunity pass, and then it would have manifested in resentment and me being upset with him. And then, my marriage was already not doing great a year ago. It probably would have added to the thing. So here's what I want to say about that. I always tell people, if like when people ask me, Linda, what do I say to someone that says they got to talk to their husband? I don't know what to tell you because none of my clients say that. I don't work with disempowered women. She is an empowered woman. I don't work with people who are not their spouse's equal, who are their spouse's daughter and have to ask for permission. I don't work with people like that because I attract people just like me. That's why Karla was like, I asked for permission. Shoot, we talk about it later, whatever. Like, I'm going to go for this. And it's not because we're telling you go do things behind your husband's back. We're telling you to be empowered. Like, that shit is sexy. He might be mad and he's going to be like, damn, that's why I love her. Shit. He just be doing shit. I'm so serious. So I'm telling you, Karla and I are not for everyone. Every type of woman is not for us. We are for the women that are just like us. That was powerful. I was trying to end, but you dropped that fire and I had to come back and put some gasoline on it, man. So, Karla, listen, if you are interested in working with Karla and Karla seems like she's your cup of tea, where can people find you, Karla?
So you can go on wakeupandunleash.com. You can have all my websites. All of the website is there, the podcasts, the Instagrams, everything. You can connect to all my platforms on the website, wakeupandunleash.com.
Wakeupandunleash.com. Also, is that your username on Instagram?
There's an Instagram on there as well, but you can also,
they can click on it. Great. And if you feel like, Linda, I am done playing small, I want to achieve crazy things. Listen, one of my bylines is, I will help you achieve the impossible. It's only impossible because you haven't done it. but it's not impossible, because the reason you want to do it is because you know that other people have done it. It is possible for you too. And we have a little bit over 2.5 months left of the year. If you want to end this year achieving the most incredible shit that people in your family will be like, that's a lie. You did not make $20,000 in 8 weeks. Yes, I did. If you want to do that, or whatever result you're looking for, you need to go to www.levelupwithlinda.com and book a call with me, or book a call with Karla, whichever one is your cup of tea. And let's finish the year off with a bang. Thank you, Karla, so much for being here. You
Thank
guys,
you so much. Bye bye.
you know where to find us. Bye-bye.